You're listening to Don Carpenter on News Talk 1270 KIML.
News Talk 1270 KIML, Don Carpenter Show, and welcome back to the program. And in studio right now, we have Christine Bestgen. Did I got your name? I pronounced your name right?
Yes, like best generation.
Bestgen. Okay, I just wanted to make sure. And Holly Galloway, I want to welcome you. You're both Gold Star moms, and you know, I think it's an important thing to kind of talk about what, because we actually had a guest that was in not right before you, but a little bit earlier this morning, and she asked what I had going on for the rest of the show, and I mentioned we're gonna have a couple Gold Star moms in, and a lot of people don't really know what this a lot of people have a misunderstanding, because it sounds it sounds like it's something that would be positive, but it's not. And so why don't you tell us a little bit about Gold Star moms and what you've what you're going through, I guess.
A Gold Star mother is a mother of a son or a daughter who has fallen in service to our country. Both Holly and I have lost our children. I lost my son, Specialist Dennis Jensen, August 16th of 2011, while he was serving in Afghanistan with the South Dakota Army National Guard. Holly?
I lost my son, Nicholas, in December of 2010 as he was serving on base in Missouri. He was killed there.
It was in Fort Leonard Wood, right?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So and this is the Gold Star. The Gold Star family tradition goes back. Is it World War II or World War I? I can't remember.
In 1928.
Okay.
There were like 5 ladies that came together. Just backtrack just a tiny bit. You know, when you're driving around your neighborhoods today, after you listen to this interview, and you look in the windows of people's homes, and you see that service banner hanging in their windows. It's a red bordered rectangular flag. It hangs vertically, and there's a blue star in the middle. We all start out as Blue Star families.
Yes, there's one just down the street from me, which is neat to see. I am also a Blue Star mother as well as a Gold Star mother. I have a son that's still serving in the Marines after his brother was killed.
Yeah, and sometimes you'll see a banner with two blue stars or 3 blue stars. So I mean, and then unfortunately, when something happens, the blue star turns to gold.
Correct. And prior to 1928, 1929, the women in those days would stitch gold embroidery. They would embroider gold thread over that blue star to show that they had lost one. Well, then that moved forward to where it became an actually official service banner. So my Blue Star flag has been put away, and my Gold Star flag now hangs in my window.
Yeah, and so we try to get the kind of get the word out about what Gold Star families and Gold Star moms are all about.
Because one of the most common responses, and I don't know about Holly, but for me, when I'm out and I'm meeting people at different events and I introduce myself as the Gold Star mother of Specialist Dennis Jensen, the first response is, well, congratulations. Yes. Then we know right then and there, you don't know what a Gold Star mom is, and it's a difficult way. It's difficult to jump right in and say, well, obviously you don't know.
Right.
So we work very carefully to be a little bit more mindful. Do you know what a Gold Star mother is? And our goal with our South Dakota chapter is, we set a mission this last November. Our first priority is to increase awareness of what is a Gold Star mother.
Yeah, and I think, obviously during World War II and that era, I would imagine everybody knew what it was, because a lot more people served, and I think maybe as fewer and fewer people served, I think maybe just kind of slipped from a lot of people's minds.
I think so, and I think the greatest lack of awareness is actually the military itself. When I'm speaking to a soldier or someone in an Air Force person or whatever, they have no idea what a Gold Star is, and so we walk up all the time to those in uniform and hug them and tell them who we are, but they have no idea. It's not in their thought process.
See, now I find that amazing. I mean, you think that would be kind of part of the training, and I know they do a lot of classroom training these days. Maybe that needs to be in some kind of etiquette class that they learn about this kind of stuff.
Well, I know that I've been approached, like I have the Wyoming Gold Star license plates on my car, and my husband has them on his pickup. And we've been approached by people our own age, the Vietnam era, who know exactly what that is. And they approach us and take our hands and thank us for our sacrifice.
Yeah, and obviously that's the appropriate response when someone, when you meet someone that's a Gold Star family member, is thank you. I mean, and then that's something that you can't say enough. I mean, obviously the service members, have a sacrifice, but the families are also, I mean, I can't even imagine. I mean, I have a 17-year-old, and I can't even imagine something like that happening. I mean, it's...
Well, and we, as who have gone through this, we would not wish it on anyone. No one. Our enemies, anyone. It is the most painful thing I have ever gone through and am going through. And I would not want anyone to lose a child.
Yeah, and Christine, you actually mentioned before we came on the air, but this is a club that nobody wants to be a member of. Yeah, I mean, it really, I mean, and you're the head of an organization that you never wanted to be the member of.
That's right.
Yeah, that's an interesting way to put it, but I think it's also kind of a powerful thing to say that this is, this is a this is something that you decided that you had to do to kind of to remember your son.
In South Dakota, we have lost 35 service members since 9/11, and our chapter, South Dakota and North Dakota, actually falls under Minnesota. And in 2010, South Dakota formed its own chapter, and Joe Kallman was our first president. But she came to a point where she didn't have the energy for it. And in November, when she said she wanted to step down, I was the only one in my group who doesn't have a problem being on air like this. I don't have a problem standing in front of people and talking about it and standing up and making speeches. And with my marketing and my tourism and all of my job training and life training, they allow me to speak on behalf of all of our South Dakota families. And we're at the point where our second mission with our chapter is to bond with Montana, North Dakota, and South Dakota Gold Star, North Dakota, Montana, and Wyoming Gold Star families, and to hopefully increase the confidence in our other families to be comfortable to stand up and speak and talk and educate the civilian population and the military population about who we are and what we do.
And it does. I mean, it takes a little bit of courage to just come on the air to talk about something that isn't as important as this. But I mean, in a situation like yours, I mean, it does take a lot of courage. I really have a lot of respect for that.
I think our sons are the ones who had the courage.
Oh, absolutely.
And we're just moving forward and carrying on and trying to be positive and not ever forget the sacrifice of our children.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's. It really is. It's. I can say that it takes a lot of courage for you to be here and talk about this kind of stuff.
Thank you.
It really. I know you're. I know. And obviously your sons have had a lot of courage. I mean, just just enlisting these days. I mean, it's a dangerous calling, but somebody has to do it, and
right.
it really. I mean, we really. I think a lot of times we kind of take our service members for granted.
Well, one of the things they say at the graduation at Fort Leonard Wood is that you see all these men and women in that graduating class, and to make it to that point, they literally are 1% of our population. Where in World War II, in Vietnam, World War I,
with the draft
and all,
much more.
Much more. But now it's
totally
all
volunteer. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And I don't really think the public is really as aware as they were when there was a draft.
Yeah, I think it has a lot to do with it.
I brought some statistics with me real quick, not boring statistics. As of today, since 9/11, our country has lost 6,714 men and women in service to our country. 6,714.
Yeah, that's
Wyoming. And
every one of those kids had a family. And that's the important thing to remember.
And they're not just we're Gold Star mothers, but Gold Star families, Gold Star wives, Gold Star fathers, Gold Star siblings. It branches out from there. My family, within 48 hours, there was 115 of us in one room. That's 115 of my family that's, been directly impacted by this. And you multiply, Holly, you have a big family too.
Yes.
Multiply that times 6,714.
It's had an effect
on
many people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's important that we kind of recognize that, and I think a lot of people kind of take that for granted. Do you mind if we take a short break?
No.
And we'll come back
gotta pay the bills.
Yeah, gotta pay the bills. So we'll take a short break and we'll come back and we'll talk a little bit more about this.
Thank you.
News Talk 1270 KIML.
For the latest on the show, follow Don on Facebook. Just search for Don Carpenter Radio. News Talk 1270 KIML.
News Talk 1270 KIML, Don Carpenter Show. Does my voice sound kind of tinny in your earphones? Okay, I'm not sure exactly what the deal is here. My voice sounds a little bit weird in my earphones. So, but I want to welcome you back to the program. And if you're just tuning in, we have Christine Bestgen and Holly Galloway. They're both Gold Star moms. And we were talking a little bit in the last break about what Gold Star moms are and everything. And during the break, you actually were telling me a little bit about some of the statistics. And why don't you share with us some of the statistics on how many Gold Star families there are in the area?
Total since 9/11, there's 6,714 in our country. Wyoming has 21 fallen. North Dakota has lost 21 servicemen and women. Montana is at 37, and South Dakota is at 35. And this is since 9/11.
Yeah,
and that is all branches of the military: National Guard, Army, Navy, Marines, all the gamut.
Right.
And see, this doesn't include all of the families who lost military service people before 9/11, all through the Vietnam War, the Gulf War, the other times that we have had people die. I mean, there are many, many more than that. This is just since we were attacked.
Right.
Since 9/11, and I believe our first casualty in South Dakota was Hans Gukeisen from Leeds, South Dakota, and Hans fell May 9th of 2003. That's our first casualty. So in 10 years, we've lost 35 in our state. And I saw a number this morning that since World War I, 500,000
in South Dakota?
In our whole country.
Oh, in the whole country. Oh, yeah. In World War II, I think. Well, I mean, my dad's a Korean vet, so it was, I think, 50,000 in Korea and 58,000 in Vietnam. So it's a lot. I mean, we've lost a lot of.
And I could be wrong that could be including World War I, but I was pretty stunned by that number. And the other thing is that these numbers do not reflect suicides, and that number is rising at a very, very rapid.
Yeah, that's
very rapid rate.
That's a big problem now. I mean, it's not easy in peacetime being in the military, but during wartime, it's even more stressful. And now, I mean, is there any kind of a push to get suicides included with Gold Star families, or? I
don't know enough about how to answer that question. I want to be very careful to not misstate.
Oh, sure,
anything.
Sure.
I probably should not answer that because I don't know the actual answer, but I do know that other Gold Star families do talk about that, and those families, we are in private chat rooms on Facebook. We have multiple Gold Star Facebook chat rooms, and many times that is a topic of conversation amongst those families about, I personally, they're Gold Star families to me. Well, they are no different. How our children died, it does not differentiate, in my personal opinion.
Right. Yeah, and I think that's I mean, and as long as the other families are accepting of it, whether somebody wants to officially make it a law or something like that, that's not even really the point. The point is you're getting together and supporting each other, and that's really the idea from the start.
We've all lost our children,
and that's that, and that's it's not even comprehensible to most people that losing a child and something like that. It really is. I mean, it's just every parent's worst fear.
It is a nightmare, and it's one that I wake up every day. And the first thing I think of, and can't speak for Holly, but I remember for the first year, I would sit straight up gasping when I first woke up in the morning, remembering that my son died.
Yeah, that first year, I woke up, and it was always the first thing that came to my mind, and I would just sob.
Every morning.
I couldn't help but. And then I've noticed that as time does progress, they say time heals, but I don't believe quite that. I think time puts a bit of scar tissue over the wound to make it more bearable. And so I have noticed that now I'm into my third year, it'll be 3 years in December, that it's not the first thing I think of anymore. It's not. I have a beautiful painting of my son that was done by Artists for Heroes, and it's a fantastic organization that works with families who have lost their children to the military, and they ask you to send photos and tell them what your son was like and who he was. And I received back a huge painting of my son, and it just is gorgeous, and I have it hanging in my bedroom, and I look at it and I can smile now. I don't cry anymore. I can smile.
I smile. I still have the tears running down my face while I'm smiling. I'm about a year behind Holly.
About 6 months. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. About that.
Well, I mean, are you comfortable? I mean, can you tell us a little bit about your son?
My son Dennis was 21. He joined the South Dakota National Guard in 2008. He chose the South Dakota National Guard over the regular Army because he didn't want to just be a number, and he wanted to serve his home state of South Dakota. And it hit me the other day when I said that exact same thing to someone, that Dennis isn't just a number. People are speaking his name. If you look out and look at my car before I leave today, I have his name on the side of my vehicle.
Oh, I saw it out there. You have you got the window painting stuff,
yes,
and yeah, I saw writing all over the car.
No, I don't have that on 12 months out of the year, but we have some things coming up that we wanted to put some awareness out there, especially right now with all the folks coming through town. And again, we're trying to reach out to other Gold Star families. And in our third mission with our South Dakota chapter that we set in November was in order to reach out to those Gold Star families in our 4-state region, North Dakota, Montana, and Wyoming, and South Dakota. We have a Gold Star family retreat coming up on August 17th and 18th at the Devil's Tower KOA campground at Devil's Tower, Wyoming. And bringing together other Gold Star families so we can all share our stories with each other. And I kind of got off the sidetrack there, Holly, didn't I?
Well, that's all right. That's all right. We don't work in a straight line here.
Okay, good. Because I'm not walking a straight line this morning.
I never do. So.
Holly, did you want to talk about Nick before I get off?
Sure.
On a tangent?
Nick wanted to join the Army once he graduated from high school. Well, actually, he wanted to be a Marine, I should say. But they didn't want him. I homeschooled my children, and they didn't like the idea of having a homeschooled kid in the Marines. And
well,
so,
they always have to that paperwork thing. If you don't have the right paperwork,
that's right. And see, we were odd. We're odd because I, taught my kids at home. How dare you?
I bet he aced his ASVAB. He did, didn't he?
Oh, let's just say he just said, okay, fine, and he goes to 2 years of college, comes back with his 3.5 GPA, and says, "Do you want me now?" And they wanted him, of course.
Oh, yeah.
And he joined the Army at that time. He changed from the Marines to the Army. So they definitely wanted him. He was also an Eagle Scout, so he went in as an E3, which is a private first class. And he went to boot camp and to training. He was a horizontal construction engineer, which told me he was a little boy in the sandbox playing with those, building roads. And he was so happy. He just said, "Mom, this is what I'm supposed to be doing right now. I will finish my undergraduate later, but right now I'm to be serving my country."
Yeah, and that's probably. I mean, that's the highest calling, really. It really is. And I know you wanted to talk about some of the events coming up. So why don't we take a short break and we'll come back and we'll talk about the events that you have coming up.
Sounds great.
News Talk 1270 KIML.
No crazy conspiracies, just good local talk. Don Carpenter on News Talk 1270 KIML. You're listening to Don Carpenter on News Talk 1270 KIML.
News Talk 1270 KIML, Don Carpenter Show. Welcome back to the program. And I don't know what the deal is. Let me turn my mic down a little bit. Maybe I don't know what the deal is, but it sounds like my voice is all tinny in my headphones. Maybe I need a new pair of headphones.
It's just all the electric energy in here from us today.
That could be. But so we're talking with Christine Bestgen and Holly Galloway, both Gold Star moms, and we talked a little bit about your sons, and again, I want to thank you both. I mean, not only for your son's sacrifice, but for yours. So it really, I don't want to.
Thank you.
I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable or anything, but it can't be said enough.
And I wouldn't worry about making us uncomfortable. We are okay with people asking us questions, and too often people shy away from us because they don't know what to say or they don't know what to ask. You know what? Just ask. if we don't want to answer, we'll tell you. But
death is very uncomfortable.
Yeah, and it's a part of life.
And talking about it is very uncomfortable until you truly have experienced something like what you and I have experienced. Right. I'm much more comfortable now talking about it and talking about how it feels and what you go through. And there's been so many books written about death and dying, but yet you truly cannot understand, just like all the books about going into labor and having a baby.
Right.
You truly don't know what it's like until you go through it. And so the thing is I know death is an uncomfortable topic, but it's something that happens to all of us.
Right.
And it's going to happen to our family members as well.
Right.
And so I have found for myself, talking about it, and answering other people's questions that do ask me, that it helps me in my own grief and mourning.
Exactly.
So, since you mentioned that, if anybody does have any questions for Holly or Christine, 682-1270 is the number, 682-1270. If you have any questions or comments, feel free.
And if there's any Gold Star families,
please,
Gold Star mothers, Gold Star fathers,
contact us.
Feel free to call in. Part of our mission of being on the air today is to fulfill mission number 3 of our Gold Star Moms in South Dakota, and that is to specifically reach out to North Dakota, Montana, and Wyoming, and if any South Dakota listeners that don't know about us yet, to reach out to each other and to form that bond the way that there is an American Gold Star Mothers organization that you have to become a member to be part of that organization. That's a membership base. We're automatically Gold Star mothers when we lose our children in service to the military. But this is an additional organization that you can be a member of. South Dakota and North Dakota fall under Minnesota, and I believe that Wyoming falls in under Colorado. In speaking to other moms in our area and all, we kind of feel like we're out there all alone, that our 4 states are out here. We've just not on purpose have been left, but we're pretty far out in our country, away from everybody.
Well, our population base is so low.
Right.
And then our population of Gold Star is so low that, I know of 3 families in Casper and 1 family in Cheyenne. And that's all I know of.
Yeah, and actually, Christine, you sent me a link to a website. CNN runs a website but that doesn't include everyone. That's just families that have lost service members overseas, and that doesn't include. That's just Iraq and Afghanistan, right?
That's correct. Just Iraq and Afghanistan is the link I sent you, and it's on CNN, and I believe it's CNN casualties.
Let's see. I actually had it here. I think you can just put in CNN. Yeah, I think it's CNN and then casualties or war casualties.
Yeah,
you can bring up a map, and it has.
It breaks it down, it separates Iraq and Afghanistan, and then each one of the casualties is listed in alphabetical order by last name and then their hometown. And it's when I saw this specific website, when I saw it the first time, it was so powerful to watch all the little dots pop up on the map.
Right. And everyone has a name.
What does that, CNN what?
CNN, well, it's a long one. It's cnn.com/specials/war casualties.
There we go. Specials/war casualties.
Yes. Yeah, and you could just do CNN war casualties in a Google search. It comes up. But we've even lost a service member here in Gillette. So
right. So our mission, we're having a Gold Star family retreat the weekend of August 17th and 18th at the Devil's Tower KOA campground. We invite any Gold Star family to come and join us. You don't have to be from the 4-state area. Any Gold Star family from any campaign. I'd especially like to open my arms out to the Vietnam era. You know, those moms were not taken care of in the way that our moms are now, and we just want to wrap our arms around each other and say, you're not alone. And we are going to have the Devil's Tower KOA campground lost Matt Driscoll, the owner of their campground, August 3rd of 2011. He died 13 days before my son was killed in Afghanistan. And one of the things that Matt expressed to me before he died was that he wanted to replace trees at his campground that were destroyed in a really bad storm a few years back. And so when I was working on my son's memorial ride, and how can I also honor Matt? Matt is an Air Force Reserve, and he served in the military, had a full military funeral. And we are, as a fulfillment to Matt's wish to have more trees, on Sunday morning at 9 o'clock, our church service, our spiritual service on Sunday morning, is any Gold Star family that comes to the campground at 9 o'clock in the morning on that day will be able to plant a tree at the Devil's Tower KOA campground in honor of their fallen hero. You'll need to contact Rocking Tree Floral and Gifts in Sturgis, South Dakota, and pre-order your tree. And then my husband will deliver them on the 15th of August, and we will plant them on the 18th of August.
And looks like we have a call here. Let's go to the phones. This actually might be someone you know. I saw it's a weird area code, so we'll see. News Talk 1270 KIML, you're on the air.
Hi, this is Brian in Richmond, Virginia.
Hi, Brian.
Hey, Christine. I think that's Christine.
Is that Jinter?
That's Christine.
Yeah, we know each other from a Yahoo Spades League, and I just wanted to tell her that we all support her, and we're real proud of her.
Thank you, Brian.
Yes.
Wow, a call from Virginia.
Yeah, that's a first here. I want to thank you for listening too.
Well, the Spades members, they're an extended family. We keep in touch, and people know that she's on the air, and they're listening. They might not be calling, but they are listening all over the place.
I love you, man.
I appreciate that, and we appreciate what you're doing.
Now, in relation, Brian's wife her name is Linda. Her sister Janice is a Soldier's Angel. A Soldier's Angel is an organization that sends out cards in support to all military, but they especially reached out and sent cards to our family. And ironically, Janice, Linda's sister, is one who sent me a card. And we didn't know that I knew her sister.
So it's a small world.
And we're all connected by this, aren't we, Brian?
Yes, we are. And people, even if they're not connected to the military directly, what happens in the military affects us, whether it's a strong affectation or just a minor one. I mean, it still matters. And people need to stay informed and to keep in touch with each other.
Yes, sir. Brian, thank you very much for calling in all the way from Virginia.
Yes.
Well, it's the least I can do. And Linda's listening too.
Hi, Linda.
And thanks for being on the radio.
Thank you.
Thank you for calling, and thank you. I want to thank everybody that's listening as well. It really is. It's kind of neat to kind of touch a lot of people all over the country.
Yes, sir.
And I want to thank Christine for sharing that with everybody as well.
You.
And I want to thank Ustream for keeping my stream running, because sometimes it crashes. So I want to thank the computer for holding up as well. So
the Gold Star Family Retreat, my name is Christine Bestgen. It's Christine. My last name is spelled B as in boy, E-S-T as in Tom, G George, E-N as in Nancy. Christine Bestgen, GSM on my Facebook. We have set the Gold Star Family Retreat as a private invite-only event. The reason for that is about as simple as it gets. We don't want protesters coming to our retreat.
Right.
We do not want protesters posting on our retreat page. If you want an invite to this Gold Star Family Retreat, please send me a private message via my Facebook, and I will send you an invitation. And once you get that invitation, it is a invite friends. So like Holly's got an invitation. So now Holly is on the Gold Star retreat. She can invite other Gold Star family members, but we just need to reach one person, 2 people, 3 people at a time, and spread that through our Gold Star family community. That weekend also, we're doing a first ever. The South Dakota has a South Dakota Traveling Memorial. It's the South Dakota Fallen Heroes banners. It's 35 banners with our service members' pictures and where they're from. And
these banners are so nice.
Yes, we just had them at the Days of 76 rodeo.
I'm like, wow, I wish Wyoming, I wish we could do.
Right.
If ever we can get together, I would love to do that.
And this is the first time, the weekend of the 17th and 18th of August, we are bringing the South Dakota Fallen Heroes banners to Hewlett, Wyoming. They're going to be set up in the Senior Center / Community Hall / VFW / Legion, downtown Hewlett. People don't even know that building exists, but it's there, trust me. It's right by the Ponderosa and the Summit National Bank.
And I will be taking my painting that I got from our Artists for Heroes to Anna and have it there as well.
Very good. And we're calling it the Tribute to Fallen Heroes. It will be open from 11 a.m. until 9 p.m. on Saturday, August 17th, and then on Sunday, August 18th from 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. in downtown Hewlett, Wyoming, inside the Senior Community Center. And North Dakota, I contacted North Dakota. Their group was called Military Ovation, and they have a brand new tribute that they've done, and it's called I Drive Your Truck, and they're sending that to me, so I will be bringing North Dakota's with me as well. And we invite Wyoming, Montana, and any other Gold Star family that's in the area that can make it. Please bring your tribute to your fallen and join us. And as the years go on, we'll be doing this the same weekend every year. We would just like that to grow. And it doesn't have to be families that have lost those since 9/11. Any Gold Star family from any campaign. And
but yeah, we're running a little bit. We only have about a minute left. I know.
We'll talk another time. You'll start hearing commercials about Dennis's Memorial Ride. SPC, it's Specialist Dennis Jensen Memorial Ride. It's a Facebook event. Don, you have a link to that. So if anybody wants a link to that, they can probably get that through Don.
Yes. It'll be on my Facebook page and my Twitter page as well.
Very good.
So I want to thank you both for coming in. And we'll have you again sometime. I want to talk to you about Honor and Remember. That's probably a full hour in itself.
Absolutely.
So
go to honorandremember.org in advance and look into that.
And goldstarmoms.com, army.mil/goldstarmothers, and honorandremember.org.
Correct.
So I want to thank Christine and Holly. Again, we can't thank you enough. But I want to thank you for coming in and sharing with us today. And we'll see you again sometime soon.
And thank you for the opportunity for us to speak and help educate our communities.
It's the least I can do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And with that, we're out of time. News Talk 1270, KIML, Don Carpenter Show. Stay tuned for Rush.
If it's happening in Wyoming, he's talking about it. Don Carpenter on News Talk 1270, KIML.